leadership. What is sales? And I want you to think for just a moment about a top-performing salesperson. In the room right now, some of you are top-performing salespeople. You're at the top of the game, not just for today, but for this year, for last year, for the last 5 years. Well, let me tell you something. You got to that position because you're demonstrating leadership with your customers. You see, top-performing salespeople don't get there and stay there unless they demonstrate leadership. So what is the definition of leadership? The definition of leadership is very simply this. It's helping those around you see and achieve things that they didn't think were possible. Isn't that what you do in sales? That's what you do. Now, let's shift the paradigm. Let's go over to a leader. I don't care whether it's political, business, community, academia, whatever. What does a great leader do? The same thing. The great leader is one who helps others see and achieve what they didn't think were possible. Now ask yourself this question. Are you doing that? Are you helping your customers? You see, in today's marketplace, if you're not, there's no place for you. There's no reason for you, because you will be replaced by an app if you haven't been already. Yeah. You see, the challenge we have is, how do we help take our customers to the next level? If you're a manager, and I hate the term manager, I hate it. We don't need no managers. We need leaders. Leaders are about leading people. Managers manage activities. Leaders lead people. What do we do with our customers? We lead them. We lead them. So now let's look at this in the context. Let's look at this in the context of a salesperson. And I love this great expression here, this great here. C plus C equals O equals P. Now look at the last P. It says profit. I love profit. You should too. Never run from profit. You can't price what you sell high enough. The only reason you don't price it higher is because you haven't delivered enough value. Now let's start at the bottom of the stairs. The first C. The first C is continuity. What is your messaging to your customers? Now, hold it. You say, hey, we're on social media. That's how we create continuity with our customers. Well, let me tell you something. Social media without social community is social stupidity. Social media in and of itself is a waste of time unless you're creating a community and a connection. You see, social media lends you to social connection, which helps you avoid social stupidity. Now, that second C there is competence. You see, what's very interesting is, now think about this. The speaker we had up here before, Frederick, he's at the top of his game in the real estate marketplace. Why? Because he demonstrates continuity. He is out there in the real estate community, and he demonstrates competence because of the expertise he brings to his customers. You see, what's interesting is when you demonstrate that continuity and that competence, it gives you that ability to have confidence. Now, confidence goes both ways. Confidence goes to both the customer and to you. The more confident the customer is with you, the more confident you're going to be with them. And oh, by the way, guess what happens? When you have that level of confidence between the two of you, think about what happens. You listen better. You understand better. You find out what are the real critical needs. And it's at that point that we get to the opportunity. If you try to close a sale without truly understanding what the opportunity is, you will never achieve maximum value. In fact, you will achieve discount value. Because you only achieve maximum value when you truly get to understand what is the opportunity. And then after I have the opportunity, now I get to really understand and really get to leverage profit. Don't run from profit. Don't run from... Some of you have to run from profit. You know why? Because you're prospecting the wrong person. You see, you can't take a Walmart shopper and make them a Nordstrom customer. It's just not going to happen. You see, so what you got to do is you got to come back to your early pipeline and say, how do I change that first C plus C? Think about this for a moment. Now let's shift the gears. Let's shift and let's look at the other side of sales leadership. Let's look at it from the leader. What should the leader be doing? The leader's job is to develop strategic opportunities. Strategic opportunities. It is not to be a tactical closer. I see too many sales managers, and I hate that term, go in and what do? They attempt to close the sale. If you have both failed your job and your salesperson has failed their job. Second thing you've got to be doing is what are your multiple relationships? Too many of you have customers where you have a single relationship. Every sales call, every customer is minimally a carpool, and it really should be a minivan, and it really should be more than that. Third piece is focus on the customer's customer. Here's the measurement as to how well you know your customer's customer. In the B2B marketplace, it's when your customer is sitting there asking you, your customer is asking you, hey, tell me, what is it that you know? You see, when you're asked by your customers for insights about their customers, then you know you've really truly have reached that sales leadership role. What does that do? That embeds you more into that space. And when you're in that space, what does that do? It creates more opportunities. It allows you to create more strategic opportunities. You begin to see how this works. You see, we got to shift our role. Now, let me just ask you this question. What are the questions you're asking? Now, here's something interesting. I don't want to go into a customer and ask them questions that they don't know, but I know. And that's typically what salespeople do. They go in and they ask customers questions that they can't answer, but they can answer because it's the way it's going to make them look good. I'm so smart. Stupid. Your objective is to ask your customers questions that they can't answer and you can't answer. Now stop and think about that for a moment. When you're asking customers questions that they can't answer and you can't answer, what does that do? That creates the dialogue. That creates the discussion. And oh, by the way, you're not going to be in that position unless you've created that level of confidence. C plus C equals C. What I want to do is I want to be asking customers questions that they can't answer and I can't, because then I get to have tremendous. And that's the way I demonstrate confidence. You see, the higher the level of confidence I create, the more the customer will follow along with me. Stop and ask yourself this question. What is the level of competence that you show? The level of competence that you show is not the knowledge that you spout off. No. It is about the questions you ask. Simon Sinek wrote a whole book on that. It's the questions. You see, we spend too much time developing the presentation. We spend too much time developing what we're going to share with customers. No! We need to spend more time developing the questions that we ask. Sales leaders. I want you to ask your salespeople after every sales call, whether it be outside or inside, what did you learn from the customer? What was the question that you asked that got the customer sharing? I want you to ask your salespeople those two questions every day. You see, what is it really about? Leadership is about the value we create when we're not present. What I want to do, and think about this is not only the salesperson, but the sales leader. I want to be able to create a higher level. Go back to my original definition. Yeah, when I'm not there. Because when I have customers doing things, when I have the people I lead doing things, when I'm not around, then I know I've achieved that sales leadership role. You see, I don't care what happens when I'm present. It's what happens when I'm not there. You really stop and think about this for a moment, because it really comes down to your believability will never exceed your credibility. If I haven't established believability with my customers, why in the world should I ever begin to think? I'm never going to be able to think that my customer is going to believe me, because they're not. They're not. You see, what is my objective? My objective with every customer I meet, and oh, by the way, this is true for a leader, is to earn the right, the privilege, honor, and respect to be able to meet with that person again. When I earn the right, the privilege, honor, and respect to meet with that person again, what does that allow me to do? It allows me to have another discussion. See, because my goal each day is to influence and impact each person I come in contact with in a positive manner. And when I do, what have I done? I've created a greater opportunity for me and for the other person.
And hey, high profit prospecting. Let me talk to you about what gives me the credibility to really be able to share with people worldwide what this is. I've been dealing with prospecting for years. It was over 16 years ago that I left my corporate job, very good corporate job, and I began doing what I'm doing. You see, I've got a lot of years of experience, and the results are absolutely through the roof. There's one particular company, and contractually, I'm not allowed to say the name, but it's very interesting. The results, when they put people through this organization, through this process, they had 4 times the results of people who didn't go through it. Now think about that for a moment. This is a major company. If I mentioned the name, you would know it. You would know it in a heartbeat. Think about this. You see, what I'm doing is I'm sharing with you in this book nothing but proven results, nothing but proven success stories. You say, Mark, we're in a very niche business. Yeah, you know what? That's okay. That's okay. Again, I've got stories in here to talk about very niche businesses. Mark, we're in a very, you don't understand yes, I do. Because you know what? I have undoubtedly worked in your industry. Just in the last several months, I have spoken on 4 different continents. Now think about that for a moment. 4 different continents in just the last, I don't know, about 9 weeks. What does that tell you? That tells you that people worldwide see me as a valuable resource. They're reaching out to me. They are reaching out to me. I've had the privilege of sharing the stage just recently with Seth Godin, Arianna Huffington, Simon Sinek, Gary Vaynerchuk. I get the chance to share the stage with so many people. Why? Because again, people put me at this level that say, whoa, this guy knows what he's talking about from a sales standpoint. High profit prospecting. You need this book, and you need me to be coming in and sharing with your organization. Because again, if I've shared the stage with Seth Godin and Arianna Huffington and Simon Sinek and hosts of others, he must be good. And I don't mean to boast, but yeah, you know what? I'll make your next meeting rock. I'll put your next meeting over the top from anything you've ever seen before. Because the way I come in and present, not just content, but content that's going to have your people challenging their thinking and going, whoa, wow, this is awesome. Give me a buzz. Email me. Let's talk. Let's get it set up now. Because you know what? If I'm not coming into your company, I'm probably going into your competitors. And you better call me now. You know why? Because the calendar is filling up. And oh, by the way, you don't want the date you want to have been taken by your competitor. You would rather have your competitor saying, I can't get Mark Hunter in because he's speaking to my competition. Yeah. Give me a buzz. We're going to make this a game changer year for you. Mark Hunter, the Sales Center. Great sell.